All right. Parts have arrived. Oops. You can't see even what that is with that on there. The Avatar HD Pro camera came, so I can make this a pro kit, which is just what I should have ordered. And also, I got in the 20 centimeter cable, so I can hopefully make the 7-inch a Walksnail platform. But this is the little camera. It's not much different than the one that came with the kit, except for it's night vision. It's kind of why I wanted it. Oh, come out of there. There we are. Ooh, it's cute. Much different than the other one. I like it. So now I have a almost complete Walksnail kit sitting there. Don't have the antenna for it. Don't have the connector for the USB still. I guess after you ever get one of those, you don't need a second one except for a spare. Okay, you don't need a third one. I sure would like to have had 2 of them. But enough complaining. I'm going to do what I can do with this until the full Walksnail Pro kit arrives from China. I think it's arrived in the United States. I just don't have any indication of where it is in the United States from their tracking. So let's get started here and see what we can do. Well, there's the camera connected. Boy, that's quite a cable. So again, this is the way it would mount in the frame, and this is the old one and the way it mounted. So again, I was going to take safety wire across these vanes and hold it in there, but maybe I should put some kind of spacer on the bottom. Again, these 4 screws, the 2 in the front that hold the MIPI cable down and the 2 in the back that hold the antenna cable down, are on opposite sides of the device, and they are screws and nuts, bolts and nuts, I guess it is. So I'm going to have to get some M2 bolts, screws, bolts, God, behind me in the drawer that are long enough that I can put some kind of nylon spacer or something underneath this, so when I screw it down back here, this plate will be held against that antenna. So I'm going to do it that way instead of with the safety wire, because these vanes go 90 degrees to what the original one does, and they'll just slide, safety wire just slide around on it. Wouldn't slide around on this one as much. But there's the new camera. New camera's MIPI cable comes out the bottom. Don't think that's going to be a problem. I hope that's the bottom. I've got the text right side up anyway. So I don't have the connector I need for this side to hook to it with USB. This does hook it to the controller and powers it and everything, and as a UART for the OSD data. So that means I got to enlarge those holes in this plate on the quad, which I really didn't want to do. But I don't have to enlarge them much to get an M2 screw through there. Boy, always something, isn't it? That's the original Walksnail back together. So I'll test it here in a few minutes and make sure it still works as advertised. I finesse myself a lot trying to order parts sometime and just get myself into trouble. I should have just left that alone from the start and just ordered 2 whole new systems like this. Live and learn, except I don't. This is a box of standoffs. Just normal. They're plastic. Oops, if they'll focus. Got all sorts of them in here, different sizes. Some with both ends female, some with a male and female end, etc., etc. And I think I'm going to go right down here to these. They're very short. They're both female on both ends. And I'm going to use this on the screw as a standoff and see if I can get that Walksnail mounted that way. Else I'll be back to the safety wire. Not sure I like it, but there it is. The MIPI cable's too long. You have to cut this tie wrap and pull it down a little bit. Don't want it to get bound between tops of these screws and stuff and chafe. So I made some make-do standoffs, and it seems to be working. Need to put some Loctite on the outside of that. The little plate that holds the antenna down is as closed as it can be with the standoffs the way they are. And then the one in the front. Okay, this is the business side that gets soldered to the flight controller. And there's the connector in that has to be soldered to the flight controller. And I'll be soldering it to a UART on the front. I've used the ones in the back up. And I'll have to find voltage and ground. Well, 4 soldered joints and that's it. I got the antenna cable. I'm not in love with it, but it's there. And I'm trying to figure out what kind of antenna to really use right here. Oops, that's not actually screwed down well, but I need to get it off of there to solder those 4 joints. And so far right now, I do not have a connector for this connector right here to get to the USB to take anything off of it if there was anything on it. That's the only thing you really need to do with that connector. But I don't have one. It seems like it only comes with the full Walksnail Pro kit. It's a shame. Just putting the connector in there, let me know what type it is, or putting what type it is on the website would go a long way for me. I could get my own wires on it and stuff. I'm just not quite sure what that connector is. Well, they supplied plenty of wire with this kit. I don't have to cut much off. Only that much. So might have to be making up a pigtail with this for a bigger kit. There you go. There's a ground, 8 volts, transmit and receive. It ain't pretty. My work used to be really pretty when I was young. 50 years ago or more. And what I did there, I picked up my ground right here. Picked up this 8 volts right here. I hope that's always 8 volts. Some of them, the flight controllers have solder pads. You can have to solder to change voltages, but I hope this is straight up 8 volts. We'll see. It'll tell us right on the screen. And then I used UART 4 here, transmit and receive on UART 4 right here. So when I go to configure this in Ardocopter UART 4, right here. UART 4 serial 6 on Arducopter. Have to remember that. There it is before it's closed up. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. Now we have to test it and make sure all those connections are good and that they'll hold up for a day or so. Go ahead and close it up. There you go. We're going to call the little 5-inch finished. The physical build, that is. Now we start software, flight tuning, etc. But hopefully I won't have to turn another screw on this thing for a while. It came out pretty good. Still think I like building airplanes more because there's more creativity in them. This is pretty much set before you get the kit. But there's my Nazgul Evoque F5 version 2 build. So let's start on the software, etc. Might should also change those props. They got kind of dinged up and muddy the other day. So if anybody knows a good 5.8 antenna for use on this thing, the Walksnail, it's my first Walksnail ever. So it's just a normal 5.8 FPV antenna, but some people like one over the other. Just looking for recommendations. Yeah, those props is probably dinged up. I don't want to put extra vibrations and stuff in it when I start the software flight tuning, but I've got another set around here. Okay, guys, thank you so much.